Hello everybody, and welcome to the farm. Today I've got a small project that I'm working on, very small. I'm installing a new toolbox on the four-wheeler that I will be driving now. We had one of our Hondas, the one that one of our employees was driving, it blew up and it no longer functions, and so we all decided to play musical four-wheelers. So the one that my dad had been driving, I will now be driving, and the one that I had been driving, this employee will now be driving, and my dad will, of course, be getting the brand new one. So I need to be putting a new toolbox on my four-wheeler, and I'm just going to briefly describe how that goes. It's actually a very simple process of simply zip tying a box to the front. And let me just show you what it is that I've got. So here's just your standard Honda 420 Rancher. And all that we do is I just bought this box here at Home Depot just last night, and it just mounts on the front. It's a very simple box, very simple setup. The box is ridiculously sturdy. I've even stood on it to help me reach high spots in trees that I needed to cut or whatnot. It's got a nice little compartment here. You can store pruning shears, little chainsaw tools and whatnot inside of here, sprinkler parts inside all of these ones, and it's not so large that you end up just tossing everything inside of it and you bury stuff in the bottom and it gets lost forever. It's weather tight, so moisture will not get inside of it. However, when you're driving around all the time with tools and bits and pieces in there all the time, all of the vibration and movement will cause plastic dust to get all over the place. It creates a lot of plastic dust, so you'll have to wash it off every once in a while, get it clean. But what I've done to make this fit on here a little bit better is I took my Dremel, a little focus, there we go, a little sanding drum on it, and there's these little feet right here. I just carved out little spots right in there so it'll fit over a couple of the bars. The ones on the back, which is facing the front of the four-wheeler, did not need to be adjusted at all because they sit, get that settled down, they sit right there, just like that on both sides. So they're fine. Now I go here to the other side of it, you can see where I had to focus, there we go. Had to get it to sit down on that bar a little bit better. If I didn't do that, then it'd be sitting up higher and it would try to wiggle around. But now it's down, resting on the actual bottom of the box. I can't get a good view of that. There, resting on the actual bottom of the box so that when I zip tie through these spots down onto the bar, front and back, left and right, it'll hold it down nice and secure. So, very simple little process of mounting a toolbox onto the four-wheeler. Handy to have because, you know, like I said, we use these Hondas for just about everything. This is our main mode of transportation on the farm. We back and forth between orchards, checking the sprinklers, towing a small trailer around with bits and pieces and parts, even just cruising around every once in a while out here. We put a lot of time on these four-wheelers, so a lot of maintenance goes into them. Having a little toolbox with all of our tools, well, with at least some of the tools that we would need almost every day, we would have them with us inside this toolbox here. With the new one that we're getting, I have joked about possibly getting a odometer for it so that we could actually find out how many miles we're riding, because we have no idea. Whenever I'm out checking sprinklers in one orchard, I'm driving up and down every other row looking at every single sprinkler that we've got running, and I might be putting in 50 miles in a day on one of these things, easily. Now, the only issue with doing something like that is that it's another electronic component that'll be on a four-wheeler. And these things go through everything. Mud, splashing through water, lots of dust, a whole bunch of vibrations and just bouncing and shaking around. And electronic components, as we have found, as farmers would agree pretty much anywhere in the world, you put an electrical component on any piece of equipment, that's the first thing that's going to go out. So, as nice as it would be to figure out just how many miles we put in on these things, it's not worth it because that would be the first thing to break, the little odometer. And being a built-in piece that would have a computer having it running through a computer, possibly additional parts, it's just not worth it. It breaks and it's going to cost something else to go out, and nah. But yeah, like we had one four-wheeler that had a thumb shifter on it, and the timing was great because right when my dad bought that for the ranch for us to use, this was years ago, I had just damaged my ankle. It acted like a sprain, but the damage was permanent, and I wasn't able to shift with my foot at all. So it was perfect timing. But after a couple months, I healed up enough that I can use a foot shifter, and the thumb shifter started dying anyways. Not the engine, not the transmission, not anything else. The electrical part, the little motor would shove a gear into some other mechanism and twist it. Is what caused the shift, and it kept stripping the gear out. So we just kind of gave up on that four-wheeler because it just kept breaking down all the time. Anyways, so I just wanted to show you real quick the nifty little box that I've got on here. This is probably like, I think, my third one of these boxes. Not necessarily because they wear out, but because the four-wheelers underneath of them wear out, and I hand the four-wheeler off to somebody else, and the box just goes with it. So I think I mentioned zip ties. Just get yourself some good quality zip ties. If they snap, it's usually only one at a time, and you can replace it. So you don't need to permanently mount bolts or anything like that. Just a quick little zip tie, zip, put it in there, and it's done. And you don't have to worry about it because it holds it pretty nice and sturdy, and you can buzz around all over the place. All right, thanks for checking in, and hopefully I'll have some more videos coming for you in the near future.